In this video, I want to share with you how to make a fast and flavorful clam linguine. So first thing I did, I brought my pan up to put it on high heat, and I'm going to put in a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, now the next thing I want to put in here are minced, actually I like to crush these. I like to put these through the garlic press with the really fine hole. All right, and then this is about 4 large ones. And that pan's a little bit hot. I don't want it to brown. What I want to do is just get it to simmer in there a little bit so that the garlic goes into, it flavors up the olive oil really nicely. So we got the 4 cloves of garlic going in here. And if you don't have like a garlic press like this with these fine holes, the other thing you can do is use a grater. Sometimes they'll be called now microplanes too. As long as it has the fine hole. For this particular dish, for this recipe, I like to use the fine hole. I like the garlic to be a little bit assertive. So there we go. Into the pan goes the garlic, into the extra virgin olive oil, and I can see it's pretty dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. You do not need to use anything. You don't have to measure anything exactly for this recipe. You really don't. So give that a stir. That's flavoring up the olive oil really nicely right now. Again, I don't want it to turn brown. I don't want it to burn. And then we can put into the pot 2 cans of the minced clams, just like that, juice and all. And then I like to also add 1 chopped. They're just a little bit different size. You see a little bit more, but the minced really have tons of flavor. So that goes in, mix it up. It smells great already. And then I add my seasonings. All right. Again, you don't have to measure, just eyeball it. A fair amount of basil and a fair amount of oregano. And if you want, if you're not watching your salt intake, if you want, you can add a couple shakes of salt. That's optional. And then we're going to simmer this. While the water comes to a full rolling boil, I'm going to simmer this for probably 2-3 minutes is all you need, just to get those seasonings into the sauce there. And what we're going to do is bring our linguine, 1 package of linguine. And the important part here is that whatever it calls for, however many minutes it's going to tell you in your directions, and it's usually like, this is 7 to 9. Okay, so don't do 7 minutes, do 6 minutes. Just subtract 1 minute from the minimum cooking time, because then we're going to take this, once it's boiled and drained, we're going to put it back in here and we're going to simmer it for that other minute, and that's going to let the sauce really absorb into the pasta. All right, before I finish showing you what you need to do for this recipe, I just want to say, if you like my videos, please subscribe, and I will keep making them. I certainly enjoy doing so. Now, my pasta, I cooked it as I brought it to a full rolling boil, put the pasta in, and then deducted 1 minute off the minimal cooking time and drained it. Now, the sauce, this is when you bring it back, you heat it up. It's kind of about medium low I have it on. And now we are going to simmer that linguine in the sauce. And this is how the flavor gets into the pasta itself. And it will make it super, super tasty. This recipe, it's a really nice, it could be a fast weeknight recipe. Maybe serve a little garlic bread and salad with it, but it's also good for guests. And the other thing about this is any leftovers the next day tastes great. Really, really good the next day. So what you do now for that, about a minute, you stir it and try to incorporate the sauce as best as you could, distribute it throughout. And that's it. Just do that for about a minute. It's going to drink up some of that sauce. It's going to drink up a lot of it, actually. It's going to get that flavor in. Now, at the very end, I will add, because as it's doing this and as it's drinking it, sometimes I want the sauce to be a little bit looser. So what I do then is add a good splash of clam juice, or if you don't have that in the house, you can also just use chicken broth. And then that'll just give you a little bit of juiciness to your sauce. Okay, I hope you try this. I hope you enjoy it as much as my family and friends do.